Students gathered on campus today to protest the proposed changes to student and employee health care plans. Tonight, hear from the president of the Graduate Student Organization about the changes they hope to see.
Plus, Shoppingtown Mall is about to lose another big name. Find out which retailer is the latest to leave the mall.
All that and more. Citrus TV starts right now.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Amanda Harry.
And I'm Brian Cheung, filling in for Max Darrow. Today, students gathered in front of Hendricks Chapel to protest the proposed changes to undergrad and graduate student health care.
Nearly 100 students were in attendance in front of Hendricks Chapel.
Here to tell us a little more about the rally is Graduate Student Organization President Patrick Neary. Now, can you tell me a little bit about what the rally was focusing on today?
Sure. The primary focus of the rally today was really the fact that students were not involved in these changes from the beginning. These changes to our health insurance plans really affect students in very major ways. They could potentially affect what doctor you see, and they can increase costs. We don't have any clear information on benefits either. We are still waiting on that from the university, which is a huge problem.
Patrick, are there any other rallies that we planned?
Not currently. There is a working group that will be evaluating university responses to this rally and to the other actions that we're performing. They meet weekly, and we'll continue to plan as we get more information.
Now, who does it affect most?
Right now, immediately, as far as immediacy, international students, new incoming students, and graduate fellows. Those are the ones who are going to be put under the insurance requirement for fall 2015, and they're the ones we're primarily focusing on right now. For new students, this is not a major change. They've never been at this university before, and hence we're primarily focusing on the international students and the fellows. They've been here when they entered. They were given a set of expectations that have now changed. So it's significant for these folks. Price increases they weren't expecting, benefit changes they weren't expecting.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. Appreciate it.
Thank you. University College will now offer 2 fully online part-time bachelor's degrees. The Creative Leadership Program and the Knowledge Management Program certifications will now be available after 15 credits.
That is how the cookie crumbles. Today is the last day Girl Scout cookies could be purchased easily on campus. Brownie Scouts were in Shine today selling popular treats such as Thin Mints and Tagalongs. This is their second year in a row to set up shop in Shine, and they ran out of Thin Mints apparently early this afternoon.
There's no word yet on the new date for the debate sponsored by the National Pan-Hellenic Council. The debate was originally set for last night for the 5 candidates running for Student Association president, but it had to be rescheduled due to class conflicts with at least 2 of the candidates. Elections will take place on my sites starting this Monday and go until next Thursday. The university announced today that it will be an open house for the campus master plan later this month. The event will feature early ideas for the future of campus and will be an opportunity for anyone to ask questions or leave comments. Both open houses will be held in the Life Sciences Atrium.
The Syracuse Poster Project will unveil its annual poster series next Thursday from 6 to 8 at City Hall Commons. Community poets and Syracuse University's illustration students work to create the city's poster panels. The series will include 15 posters by senior illustration students and 1 poster by a professional illustrator. Another retailer is set to leave Shoppingtown Mall. Gertrude Hawk Chocolates is closing its location. They will join the dozens of major retailers that have abandoned the mall in recent years. But on the bright side, customers can now purchase chocolates at discounted prices. The Syracuse City Council begins a month-long series of budget meetings to look at Mayor Stephanie Miner's proposed budget. Councilor-at-Large Kathleen Joy says councilors hope to hear from the public during the upcoming month. The council will have until May 8th to approve a budget.
A Rochester man is facing weapons charges after Transportation Security Administration agents found him with 3 unloaded weapons in the Rochester airport. Deputies at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office arrested the man because of having an unloaded gun was not on his pistol permit.
Supporters of requirements to label foods containing genetically engineered ingredients are urging lawmakers to pass the proposal. Supporters argue people should know if food contains genetically modified ingredients, while opponents, including food producers and agricultural companies, say labels will increase prices and frighten consumers.
Beginning December 10th, JetBlue will provide nonstop flights from Albany to Orlando and Fort Lauderdale.
The airline will be offering nonstop flights from New York State's capital to Florida. JetBlue says the flight will operate with 150-seat aircrafts.
JetBlue is also offering a limited one-way fare on Monday of $16 and change in honor of Albany's incorporation in 1686.
Syracuse University's plan to participate in Startup New York is up for approval this week.
Startup is Governor Andrew Cuomo's economic development program to provide tax breaks to companies that commit to hiring and investing in the state.
If the Startup New York Advisory Board approves Syracuse University's participation, then SU will be able to sponsor companies.
When we come back, billions of barrels of oil could be sitting just within reach. Find out where it's hiding.
But first, a Secret Service member is on leave. Find out why.
Currently, we are seeing some warmer temperatures out there on Syracuse campus. As you can see behind me, the quad is looking a lot more full. We are seeing students moving, but we are seeing a lot of wind with the flag waving. Full weather forecast after the break.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
I think that Citrus TV is important because especially this year, Syracuse has been in the news so often, and we've often been there first to be able to cover that and really deliver it to the students.
Citrus TV News is for our campus and our students.
The great thing about Citrus is we allow students to tell their stories and we get to listen to their concerns.
Citrus is important because we cover campus news in a way that no one else really does.
Citrus TV is the voice of Syracuse University, and it's something we're very proud of and a responsibility that we take very seriously.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Robert Durst, the heir to a Manhattan real estate family, pleaded not guilty to 2 weapons charges today. Durst was arrested while in possession of a .38 caliber revolver and 5 ounces of marijuana on March 14th in New Orleans. Durst was profiled by a 6-part HBO documentary about the murder of his friend Susan Berman 14 years ago in California. Durst is expected to be extradited to Los Angeles for murder charges after the case in New Orleans is settled. Today marks the 150th anniversary of the Civil War ending. 150 years ago, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox, Virginia. The Civil War, which pitted the North against the South over fundamental disagreements over politics, economics, and slavery, the war killed more Americans than World War I and World War II combined.
A woman is sentenced to 5 years in prison after being in a group that sought out black residents of Mississippi's capital. A U.S. district judge convicted the woman on 1 count of conspiracy to commit a hate crime. New information about a South Carolina police officer accused of murder. The dash cam from the police car shows a chase between Officer Michael Slager and a black man. Officer Slager shot and killed Walter Scott earlier this week, has used excessive force in the past. According to a 2013 complaint, Officer Michael Slager has been charged with the murder in the shooting death of Scott. But in 2013, Slager allegedly tased an unarmed black man outside his home, but was allowed back on the force.
President Obama responded to an online petition calling to end conversion therapy for LGBT youth on Wednesday. The White House released a statement saying, quote, "The overwhelming scientific evidence demonstrates that conversion therapy, especially when it is practiced on young people, is neither medically nor ethically appropriate and can cause substantial harm." More than 120,000 people have signed the petition, which denounces psychiatric treatments that can cure being gay. A senior supervisor in the Secret Service has been suspended and placed on leave after a female employee accused the supervisor of assault last week. The D.C. Police Sex Crimes Unit and a government inspector are investigating the female unit's allegation that her boss made unwanted sexual advances and grabbed her after returning to the office after a party downtown earlier in the evening. The Obama administration is also looking into a March 4th incident involving 2 senior Secret Service agents that drank and crashed a car into a White House barricade.
An oil deposit is sitting just beyond the airport fence in London. A company drilling in the hills nearby says the airport is sitting on top of an oil field, possibly up to 100 billion barrels, which would be more than the combined reserves of Nigeria and Libya combined. A suspect is now in custody following a shooting that killed 3 in northern Italy today. The shootings took place outside the country's Palace of Justice early this morning. Early reports of a 4th death were false.
The president of Iran made it clear that a final nuclear agreement would only be signed if sanctions against the country are lifted on the first day. The sanctions have crippled Iran's economy over the past few years and would be a key to signing a final and more specific nuclear treaty. However, this presents problems for President Obama as the Republican-led Congress would have to vote to lift any sanctions. North Korea asking Mexico to give their ship back. The Mudu Bong was detained by the Mexican government when it ran aground on their shores in July. The government says that Mexico is depriving the ship's crew of their human right to see their families. Mexico disagrees and says North Korea skirted international law and that the crew is free to travel on their own whenever they want. A lot of clouds were looming today, but will that come with some rain?
Jamie, when are we going to see the sun again?
Well, Amanda, we will be seeing the sun pretty soon. It's currently 48 degrees outside. Like we said, a little bit overcast. We are seeing clouds and a lot of gusty winds. Checking into the northeast, we are seeing 40, 50-degree temperatures. But as we look to the Midwest, we are seeing 79 degrees in Indianapolis, where we just had the Final Four. Crazy to see almost 80-degree temperatures already in April. Checking our Doppler radar, unfortunately, we are seeing some rain moving into Syracuse coming from the Great Lakes, and our current surface temperature shows that that rain is coming into New York. Tonight, we will be seeing a 90% chance of precipitation, probably within the next hour or so. Light streams of rain moving into later tonight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., more steady showers. And tomorrow morning, we're going to see scattered thunderstorms in the early morning, and as we move into the afternoon, it should be lightening up a little bit. And taking a look at our 5-day weather forecast, we will be seeing some sun this coming weekend. We're seeing 50 to 60-degree temperatures, a lot of warm weather, and some rain coming back on Monday. So hopefully that rain won't stay for too long, and we can see a lot more sun and warm temperatures pretty soon.
Thanks so much. Now I want to ask you a little about those that rain that could be coming. Now, as in nighttime, obviously gets much colder. Will that turn into snow of any sort?
I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow, even though our low is about 34, 35. The water temperature coming down is pretty warm, and the ground is pretty warm too from all the warm temperature we've been having. So it's not going to stick, even if it does turn into snow.
The temperature has been fairly warm, but the wind has been making it feel a lot colder. We're going to see a lot of that wind still.
A lot of that wind is coming from that lake effect weather, so we might see a little bit the next couple days, but the sun should keep us a little bit warmer.
Okay, great. And now obviously with that rain coming, is it going to be coming in large volumes, like any flood advisories of any sort? Or?
I haven't seen any flood advisories yet, but just to be on the safe side, maybe if you're not too keen on driving in the wet weather, maybe stay off the road tonight and tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Jamie.
Thank you. When we come back, the newest numbers of those claiming unemployment benefits, how Americans are faring.
Plus, how you can start watching videos on YouTube without the ads. Stay with us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
The New York State Health Department has released a list ranking the number of obese people in each county. Statewide, 1 in 4 adults are obese, and Onondaga County ranked 8th on the list of 58 counties. CitrusTV reporter Monica Hammer tells us more about what people can do to prevent obesity.
Serious medical problem in the United States, and Professor Jane Uskadian explains why obesity is an issue in Onondaga County.
If you look at the demographics of Onondaga County, we've got some very high rates of poverty, we've got food deserts, and those together increase the likelihood.
On a national level, less exercise is what seems to be causing the problem.
Are people eating that much more food? They're really not eating that much more, but their physical activity has declined so much.
In Syracuse, many people come to Metro Fitness to change their lifestyles.
Everyone's got their own, needs and wants, and everyone obviously seeking a healthier lifestyle, and that's kind of what we're here for, not only for motivation but teaching, making people more knowledgeable about health and different types of lifestyles that they can live to be healthier.
At Metro Fitness, personal trainers emphasize that both nutrition and exercise matter when managing your weight.
Nutrition, we say, accounts for 80% of the effort you put in, and exercise is the other 20%.
There are several strategies and techniques that could help lower obesity rates.
But we can give, tips as to how to eat healthier, the proper ways to eat, when to eat, and on top of that, we compile exercises. We integrate classes where our focus is, weight loss and staying active.
The lesson to be learned is that many steps can be taken to prevent obesity. In Syracuse, I'm Monica Hammer, CitrusTV News.
Sabre Dipping Company is recalling 30,000 cases of hummus due to possible contamination with listeria. The possible contamination was found after a random sample was collected from a store in Michigan. The nationwide recall is voluntary, and so far, no illnesses have been reported.
Drugstore Walgreens will be closing 200 stores in the United States. The chain is finalizing the plans and has not yet announced a time frame for the closures. The company said they're looking to reduce expenses by $1.5 billion over the next 3 years. There's been an increase in the number of jobless claims last week. The Labor Department reported the number of Americans seeking first-time jobless benefits rose 14,000 last week and are now up to over 250,000 in total. No special factors have been blamed for the increase, and the numbers remain at historically low levels. YouTube users could finally have the option to watch videos without ads, well, as long as they pay a fee. The online video service says they are getting ready to roll out an ad-free subscription option. The option would provide more revenue for content creators and more options for users. YouTube did not say how much they would charge for the service or when it would be released.
Eddie Murphy is being honored with the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. He will be given the award on October 18th at the Kennedy Center, and it is the 18th year the award is being given out. Past winners include Jay Leno, Whoopi Goldberg, and Will Ferrell. A tech company is trying to resurrect the dead. They're working to bring back a singer in hologram form. Selena, the One, will be able to walk, talk, sing, and dance. She is even set to go on tour in 2018, as long as the creators can raise $500,000. Now here's Tim Langlois with sports.
Thanks, Amanda. Coming up next in sports, it's the first round at the Masters. We'll get you caught up on what the leaderboard looks like. And Matt Harvey was back on the hill today for the Mets. We'll have those highlights when we come back.
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Even though it takes some time to feel like spring in Syracuse, nothing says springtime like the opening weekend of the Masters at Augusta National. Play got started today after yesterday's par 3 contest. Bubba Watson is the defending champion in the Masters. Watson won the tournament by 3 strokes in 2014. In golf's first major of the year, Watson shot a 1-under 71. That is 6 shots back of the leader. First round play is still going on right now. Currently, Jordan Spieth is the leader. Tiger Woods is +1 through 15 holes. Now let's take a look at some of the standings. Jordan Spieth is up there at the top, 7 under par. He's just dominating right now on the golf course through the first round through 15. And tied for second at 5 under, we have Charlie Hoffman, Justin Rose, and Ernie Els all shooting 67s. Another thing that signals the start of spring is baseball, and the Syracuse Chiefs get that going tonight at 7 as they start their 2015 season at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Last year, the Chiefs were in the International League playoffs, but were swept by the eventual champion Pawtucket Red Sox. The Chiefs' first game this season in Syracuse is a week from today. That's next Thursday at 2 o'clock. Back on the hill, SU softball is currently with a matchup with Canisius out in Buffalo. It's currently 8-0 Syracuse in the 5th inning. The Orange was supposed to play a doubleheader in Binghamton on Wednesday, but those games were rained out and will not be made up. Now let's head to some baseball action, some pros. It was earlier this afternoon that the Mets took on the Nationals. Matt Harvey back in action for the Mets, and he was in a groove early on. Here he is striking out Bryce Harper to end the bottom of the first inning there. And then the Mets would get on the board. Here's bases loaded for Michael Kadire, lines a single to right, brings in Curtis Granderson, 1-0 Mets. 2-0 Mets now, bases loaded. Again, here's Travis d'Arnaud. He bloops a single into center field. That scored Lucas Duda and Michael Kadire, 4-0 Mets. And then it was back to the Matt Harvey show down in D.C. Here he is striking out Taylor to end the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bryce Harper goes down again, and Bryce Harper again, 3 strikeouts for Bryce Harper. The Mets would go on to win by a final score of 6-3. Yankees, well, they play in action later tonight, but last night they took on the Blue Jays. Here's A-Rod. He was 1 for 2 in his return back with the Yankees. Strikes out there. in the second inning. Skip ahead to the 8th inning. Yanks down 2-1, and Brian McCann throws it away down the right field line. Jose Batista would come around to score to make it a 3-1 game, but then McCann gets plunked in the arm, and it's a tie game that forces the run home. 3-3, bottom of the 8th inning. Bases loaded for Chase Headley, and he hits one that Brett Cecil can't handle. Brett Gardner comes around to score, and that would prove to be the game winner as the Yankees win it by a final score of 4-3. And then some NBA action from last night. The Brooklyn Nets in a fight for that 8th playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Here's the Hawks. Al Horford slams it down. Hawks go up by 6, 107-101. Now the Hawks up by just one, 35 seconds left. Joe Johnson finds Darren Williams on the wing, and he banks it home with a little kiss. And the Nets go up by 1. But here come the Hawks. It's Al Horford again underneath the hoop, puts Atlanta back up by 1. And then now the Nets have a last chance with just 2.7 seconds left. Joe Johnson puts one up at the end, but it's in and out, no good. The Hawks win at 114-111. Brooklyn, though, still in a tie for that 8th playoff spot in the East. And guys, NBA draft news, Jahlil Okafor of Duke, he's headed to the pros, just announced recently.
All right, great. Thank you, Tim. When we come back, the wedding that's being paid for by a fast food chain. Find out why.
Stay with us.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
Thank you, dear. Oh, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our world.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
All right, Jamie's back now. Tell me a little bit about what I'm wearing tomorrow morning.
All right, well, tomorrow morning we are going to see a lot of scattered showers, so probably wear a rain jacket, rain boots, umbrella. As we go into the afternoon, that rain should be letting up, but it will be in the 50, 60 degree temperatures, so could go shorts, but depends on if you want rain in your boots or not.
I don't think I'm going to risk it. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, there are quizzes to see what your hair or smile says about you, but what about your favorite sandwich?
Dating and social networking site Scout asked around 4,600 users about grilled cheese.
And they found out that people who enjoy them are more charitable, more adventurous, and have sex more often than those who don't like them.
Keeping with the people's favorite food theme, Mr. Burger and Mrs. King are getting married. Here's the picture they took last year after getting engaged.
The couple met in kindergarten, and they're finally making plans to tie the knot, and it's all being paid for by the fast food chain Burger King. So that's bizarre, but okay. That's all for CitrusTV News. I'm Brian Cheung.
And I'm Amanda Harry. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all the latest from Citrus TV.
Have a great night, Syracuse.